Cultural institutions in the U.S. are facing scrutiny to be more accessible and inclusive. The organization in charge of Iowa's main history center is making another attempt to reach all parts of the state. This month, the Mobile Museum, led by the State Historical Society of Iowa, began visiting various counties, with more stops planned for August and September. That's after the pandemic forced the custom-built Winnebago carrying artifacts to stop traveling for more than a year. The Historical Society's Michael Moraine says the project began in 2017 amid calls to boost accessibility for those who aren't in a position to visit historical sites.
Sometimes history can seem sort of dusty and a little bit distant if we just see an old black and white photograph or if we just read about it in a magazine article. But when you see the artifact, it's often easier to put yourselves in the shoes of the people who lived through that chapter of history.
The project works with hosts such as community centers and festivals so that people from all walks of life can be reached. The first tour made 175 stops across all 99 counties, attracting nearly 65,000 visitors. And in light of the racial reckoning, Moraine says the Historical Society is continuing efforts through exhibits at its main site in Des Moines to try and tell a more complete history of Iowa.
So I think history can help us understand Iowa in a more complex and more interesting way than sometimes you can see in a textbook.
He says Iowa's People and Places exhibit, which allows some artifacts to go into the Mobile Museum, represents that more robust telling of the state's history. More information on the museum tour can be found on the Historical Society's website. Mike Moen, Iowa News Service. Find our rate trust indicators to support transparency and accuracy at publicnewsservice.org.